Hello, my name's Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're talking about the second book in Lani Taylor's Daughter of Smoke and Bone series trilogy, Days of Blood and Starlight. The world that Lani Taylor has built and the intricacy in which she has woven this story. She is fantastic. I can't stress how well written these stories are. Now, if you haven't yet read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, you could go listen to my book talk about that, and I discuss what it's about and break it down. The thing is, this is a high fantasy book. It is a lot of new stuff to learn. Term-wise, there are lots of different characters, but they all tie together, and you don't realize how they tie together until it comes full circle, and you're, whoa. If you already read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and you're on the edge about reading Days of Blood and Starlight, read the book. It is fantastic. When I finished the book, I was just in awe at how wonderful Lani Taylor is. It's a completely different type of book. It's a complete change from what I've been reading, and I loved it. So leave if you haven't read Daughter of Smoke and Bone. If you have read Daughter of Smoke and Bone, I'll give you a little summary of what this is about just to get you excited. We leave off with Karu going through the portal with Razgut, that disgusting warped angel. Eretz, which is the world through the portal, has gone to shit. Jerome is burning and killing everyone. They're basically committing genocide on the Chimera because there's no Chimera to fight right now. Because there's no resurrectionist. Because Brimstone is dead. At first, we can't find Karu. We don't see her for the first few chapters. And when she returns, oh dude, it's just such an epic return. It is such an intriguing, well-developed, well-written story, and I just very highly recommend it for a change, to challenge yourself imagination-wise. That's all I'm going to say about it. Bye if you haven't read the book! The way that Lani Taylor gets you back in the story is genius, because if you did just jump into Eretz, the world that we're not used to, you kind of would be hesitant to continue the book. But we start with Susanna, with Susanna's emails to Karu, and we open with Karu's ex-boyfriend on camera, and Susanna wants to drop a balloon full of piss on him from the balcony above his interview. She pushes her way back into that fantasy world. Such a fun character, and Mick, I love them both. She really made this book kind of easier to handle, because it's really heavy stuff. It's like if there was another kind of human race on Earth with us, but that wasn't the same species. Humans versus the flying humans. We feel like we're so superior to all the other species, and that's exactly what's going on with these two opposing forces. Karu isn't there, and it's the buildup was just, we just got to the point where you needed to see her. We just needed to know she was alive. Her re-entering into the novel, you couldn't help but be like, oh yeah! I didn't really foresee this working for the wolf ordeal. Fucking hate that fucking. Then we meet another Chimera that was enslaved, her and her sister Saraziel, and I believe her name is Sfi. You immediately feel so bad for her and her sister, who can't walk. I really hope that guy, that Dashnet, that his name is Wrath, and I hope Wrath comes back into play. I hope he joins Karu's cause, because I think he definitely would take her side in this whole situation. Well, now everyone has to, because the White Dwarf is under her rule. Oh man, bitches. The switching of POVs, the way that Lani Taylor tells this story, I can't get over it. It's the way I want to write things. It's just so perfect. They're all being dead quiet, the worst kind of silence, which is just the name of the chapters. That was just such a strong idea. Let's talk about Hazel. We learned to love him so much in this story, and at the end, it was like tearing out my heart. It was just, Lani just built him so we loved him, and then he dies! It sneaks up on you, the caring for these characters, because there's so many of them, and you get them in snippets. You go back and forth. Every hour he wishes Hazel were here, he would have them all playing dice together by now. He would have them all playing dice together by now. I love that Liraz is actually showing emotion now, and that we actually saw from her point of view, and we could actually sympathize with her. And then we get a lot of Susanna and Mick chapters. They're so adorable with their fairy tale tasks. That moment where Karu went out to meet whoever was on that hill, and she heard it was Susanna, and Susanna was running towards her and screaming her name. It was just the most emotional thing. I started crying. I'm crying right now thinking about it. It was so Such a great moment. It was so much better going to Karu's POV when Susanna was there with her. When we first found out that Karu was working with the wolf again, just couldn't even stand it when he came into the room and he was like, let me tease for you, now we're even. Fuck you, we're even! You killed her! She couldn't see the big picture anymore, and it was just so frustrating. Karu has lost all hope for a better, more peaceful, united world, and Akiva has reacquired his. And it's the struggle for them to reunite and share this belief again. In the whole book, I just was yearning for her to get over it, you know? We just want her to accept Akiva again and for them to be back together and be that power pair that brings both species together. Okay, Akiva is freaking magical as hell. I didn't realize how unique he was until this book. He can do all sorts of shit. This whole special backstory he has. Whoa. Like that thing where he sucked in the sky and then it just exploded. Whoa. Gotta learn how you do that. That way we can make it happen more often. Let's talk about Ziri, the last of the Kirin. I'm so proud that I finally kind of know all the names of the different species of Chimera. Ziri is just the most adorable person thing. I really want him to be happy. And we saw from his POV and he, you know, has a huge crush on Karu. I don't even know what I wanted because I love Karu with Akiva and I want her to be with Akiva. But at the same time, I was like, why can't you show any love to Ziri? Poor Ziri. She's gonna be able to remake his body, right? And put him back into it. How long is this deception gonna last? I really don't like him being in Thiego's body. I don't like it. And it was a genius move. It was genius. I was hoping maybe it was one of the people from that team that went off and did their own thing and protected the civilians. We're gonna be in the White Wolf. And then the fact that they also had 10. They also had someone in 10's body. So, yes! At the end I was like, oh yeah! Should we talk about that rape scene? Oh my god. How did he slay the shadows that live and that really huge guy who's really nice? Did they just lay down and die? Because I feel like 3-on-1 huge guy and the shadows that live could take him on. Reading Karu when this was happening, how could they let this happen? I love that the whole time Akiva was warning all the Chimera. No, it was a great moment when Karu is explaining creating monsters and putting their souls back in them. Then she tells them that she's a Chimera. And they're like, yeah, what kind? And she's like, I'm not human and you don't have any reaction? She goes, oh, I'll show you. She's drawn Ziri. Susanna goes, you were a dude? She's like, I don't know why that's weirder than you not being human, but it is. That scene when Ziri came back, just dead, his hands just ripped open. That moment where Karu asked Susanna to help. Oh, the writing. I was just so proud of Karu. The wolf was like, we should just kill him and make a new one. She's like, I can do it! She went through so much trouble to keep his original body, and then she has to put him in the wolf. When Akiva came and Thiago came in there, but actually it was Ziri, and they shared that tender look, I just felt so bad for him. I was like, why don't you explain? Just explain. Someone explain this to Akiva. Karu better explain this whole Thiago situation to Akiva. Akiva's not gonna tell anyone the secret. Why can't you just tell him? Why can't you just tell him so he doesn't feel bad every single time he sees you look at him? It ended on such a good note. It was just so full circle, emotional. Karu and Akiva were just staring at each other from across the cave. Everything's building. That Jael guy with the scar has to die. In the beginning, when we first saw the rebels, the Chimera rebels coming in and killing the angel troops, it was kind of like, yeah! But as time went on, it was just like, no, please stop. What do you think is gonna happen in the next one? Karu and Akiva. Akaru. Then on. I don't know what's gonna happen with Ziri. I really hope he doesn't die. He doesn't deserve to die. If he didn't show up, what would have happened? I would never have remade the wolf's body. And that's what I thought she did when he came in. I was like, he's still around? Are you shitting me right now? I just really didn't see that Ziri being in his body thing coming. Brilliant! And then we see the flashback when it happened. I can't even. And then she was thinking about the wings and the shovel. And then we see why this woman is a genius. Anyway, oh my god. And then the last scene. The cars come speeding over the hill. And Susanna's screaming out the window. Angels! The angels are everywhere! And everyone is freaking out! It's so great to have that injection of human in this fantasy world that she's woven for us. I can't wait to read the next one. It's such an adventure reading this book. Oh, you know what? Svev, maybe her and Ziri. That's gonna happen. Because she said he was handsome, and he said that she was as pretty as a doll. That's gonna happen in the next one. People are gonna die in the next one. Maybe Liraz. I wouldn't mind her dying. Who would we not mind dying? Now we really understand the pain that it takes to make a body. Like, she has vises and torture devices so she could create these bodies. But now we also know there's a different way to do magic. Or maybe you have to be born with it and inherit the magic like Akiva does. But Akiva doesn't need to have the pain to do the magic that he's doing. It just kind of wears him out. I think it's crazy that Susanna and Mick can go invisible now. They've learned invisibility. And I love that little flash forward that Susanna had of telling her grandchildren this story, then having to turn invisible to prove that she isn't lying and scare the crap out of him. I really just hope that Akiva and Karu survive this whole shit show. Karu's gonna have to make like 1 million bodies all by herself to replace all those people under the church or whatever. What are you expecting her to do? If there's thousands down there, she cannot handle that herself. Maybe Akiva can even resurrect people easier because he has these magical powers. I never even thought about that. I don't know when the next one comes out. Share your thoughts, your theories, favorite parts, how you think Lani Taylor's wonderful. I'm Christine. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!